Dapper Don Podcast. It is your boy Dapper Don Dez, and I'm here to discuss some things that I've been seeing in the culture, things that we all know really kind of needs to be addressed and that we don't necessarily see a spotlight on. I want to discuss today from Public Enemy saying that Flavor Flav is out the group. Can you believe it? Flavor Flav? Megan Thee Stallion, she got credit, she got contract. I said credit issues. I don't think she got that. She got contract issues, man. 1015 was her label she signed with early on, and now she's saying things is in the contract she don't want. She want to renegotiate. We're gonna get into that later on. We definitely gonna talk about from the Baby has a headlining show. We also have Drake's dropped new music, and the 50 Cent, Snoop Dogg, and Oprah fiasco is still going on. I don't gotta get into that with y'all. I gotta get into that too with y'all. The first one I'm gonna start off with is the Chuck D one. The Chuck D one is the craziest one just because of how much history is behind Chuck D and Flavor Flav and his reasoning so far. So Public Enemy announced Flavor Flav is no longer part of the group. So if he's no longer, if you don't know, give you some background on Public Enemy. Public Enemy was really in their prime in the late 80s, early 90s. They were really some people that was behind the legendary Ice Cube album, America's Most Wanted. They were behind some of the biggest projects, man. Just some real heavy hitters, some real deep knowledge. Well, as far as Chuck D was the actual rapper. But Flavor Flav also rapped. Flavor Flav had rap songs such as 911 is a Joke. And, some other stuff. I'm not going to say it's really my era. It was before my time. But when we was introduced, for those in my age group, late 80s, early 90s babies, we remember Flavor Flav as somebody who had reality TV shows. He was dating this one white lady. I forget her name. It escapes me. If you know who it is, leave it in the comment section. But this lady and Flavor Flav was supposed to be like a couple, and he had the Flavor of Love. Mind you, Flavor of Love introduced us to some of the best eye candy out. From Delicious to Boots, Hoops. Like, these women don't even have real names at this point. That whole brand is around the name. Hoops definitely was a big one. I think she ended up dating Shaq. But anyway, apparently now Flavor Flav is out the group. You didn't think that he needed to be out the group when he was going in and out of jail? You didn't think he had a problem when he was having all these drug issues? Am I the only one who felt like, wow, we should have addressed this long before, he didn't want to come to political rallies? So they basically kicked him out because he didn't want to be a part of a political rally. These rallies are not necessarily to the benefit of Flavor Flav's pockets, right? Chuck D is real outspoken, he's real pro-black. And I guess in this era, that's the go-to thing now, with the Kaepernicks and I don't want to say go-to things because it's always been in our culture to stand up for the culture. It's always been something that we look forward to, but now I guess it's a problem that Flavor Flav. So basically, let me get to what they have an issue with. Apparently, Flavor Flav is no longer in Public Enemy because Chuck D says that Flavor Flav would rather dance for his money. He's the hype man. The hype man has always moved like that. Since when did hype man not move like that? Is it me? Am I bugging? Or do you also see what I'm seeing? Why are we now taking what Flavor Flav has always done and saying that it's a problem now? So let me get into some of the article with you. So basically, Chuck D said that Flavor Flav had 1 year to get his act together. I guess that's going in and out of jail or whatever. Public Enemy has just announced he's no longer a part of the groundbreaking hip-hop group. In a statement sent, Chuck D and company made it abundantly clear that their time with Flav has come to an end. Public Enemy and Public Enemy Radio will be moving forward without Flavor Flav, the statement reads. We thank him for his years of service and wish him well. I mean, they're involved with Bernie Sanders or whatever. I'm seeing this right here. The time is now, fight the power, pull up and see Chuck D, DJ Lord, and S1Ws at Public Radio, at Public Enemy Radio, Bernie Sanders, March 1st. So that was yesterday. Or yesterday from the time of this recording. So yeah, you know, they getting into more political things along the lines of a Killer Mike. I don't think that everybody in the group has to have one point of view, because that was a part of it. You know, when it was financially beneficial, you had no issue having Chuck D on there. You felt that anything that Chuck D was doing or had going on, it was perfectly fine. But now you kicking the man out of the group because you knew he had this drug issue. You knew he was wild, he was sporadic, but when he had the sauce and the entertainment thing was going, you were still bringing him in. This is what it looks like to me now. But on Sunday morning, Chuck D tweeted the last straw was long ago. It's not about burning with Flav, he said. He doesn't know the difference between Barry Sanders and Bernie Sanders. He didn't know either. Flav refused to support whoever Bill Delafonte after Bill Delafonte inducted us. He didn't do that. Well, I mean, of course, he's kind of pretty much saying the Free Public Radio, the Free Public Enemy event is being held at Las Vegas Convention Center with the group taking stage at 6 p.m. Blase. Anyway, I don't think it's fair to be bandwagoning. If you and this person were cool at one point in time, why is it now an issue? You know, like, why is it now an issue where you and this person is at odds with them? But I guess it just doesn't sit right with me, because it's like when he was in his 20s, 30s, and 40s doing this, it wasn't an issue. But now that it really doesn't matter. You know, the baton has been passed on to other pro-black, more political artists. Just keep the man in the group. But I guess people get over it. Like, who my people? Trench by Naughty by Nature. How they gonna kick Vinny out in their 40s? That's wild. That's wild. You can't put in a few decades with somebody, then you kick me out of the group. It's too late to make that call. It's too late. Drew Hill. If you like, people kicking folks out of groups that we didn't even know were still together. One time for the Locks. The Locks always keeps it consistent. But I know y'all not really into that whole pro-black. Y'all want to hear all that other stuff. I seen that at the Clips. The Clips manager, I don't know if y'all are familiar with the Clips. The Clips is a Virginia rap duo group. Consists of Malice, who is now known as No Malice, and Pusha T, a.k.a. Wrath of God, a.k.a. I don't know. Pusha T, anyway. But he claimed that a lot of that drugs raps was about his life. Like, they was pretty much talking about him. There was also another guy by the name of Czar. It was CZAR, I believe. He also got sentenced to 25 years on drug charges. You know what, now that I think about it, off that onto another thing, you ever notice that, you know, you'd be surprised at people who are doing time for selling drugs. And how, you know, early on we thought all of these guys was just like making this whole fantasy about, oh, I'm that dude, I'm getting this money, I'm working in these streets, blah, blah, blah. A lot of them was getting it in. You hearing stories back from Cameron talking about running a nightclub in Ohio and having a drug ring in Ohio. And Loon, I don't know if y'all remember Loon. I'm taking it back on you just a little bit. Loon was like the pretty boy behind Bad Boys, behind, you know, whoever. Anyway, so Loon pretty much became that guy in the early 2000s. You probably remember him from I Need a Girl Part 1. I think he was on Part 2. But I know he was on Part 1. Anyway, you probably remember him from I Need a Girl. Well, anyway, that same pretty boy apparently turned Muslim and started moving packs. And he doing, a stretch right now. And it's just so crazy to see these guys who, that gives me so much reverence when I see a Jay-Z, when I see a T.I. with a podcast, or a Jay-Z with a streaming service. Because we all think that, once you get the deal and you make the hit records, you got all of the whatever, that the temptation is over. But what about when you still trying to get it to pop? What about, you did get it to pop, and now the bands ain't there, the money's not there, you blew through it. The ability to say, you know what, I'm going to find something positive. That's not to say that Tip money was running low or Jay money was running low, but just to simply say that I can see the temptation to go back to what you know works when you try to do business and business might not have worked out for you. But anyway, back to the clips. The clips manager said that a lot of the drug raps was based on his life. And that this is just kind of I don't know if he was just kind of trying to accuse them of being fake or not, but he was just saying that their life was pretty much based on what he rapped or whatever. So, I remember, as a matter of fact, when Pusha was talking about having his beef with Drake, saying that there was people in his inner circle that was trying to help Drake find dirt on him during the battle. Maybe Mr. Anthony Gonzalez, I guess he's one of those dudes. I don't think he did it in time, but he was a former manager. So basically, I guess he's getting into Drake talking about his freestyle, his Duppy freestyle, and how, Pusha didn't get into drugs, blah, 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 blah. Pusha nasty on the microphone, though. He did say that Pusha was good at putting what he saw in the lyrical form. That's an understatement. That's an understatement. You clearly decided to put your money up on him. Why you ain't talking? Why you ain't rapping? Because you knew. You said, nah, this is how it's supposed to be done. You was in a room with somebody, you was like, nah, this is how it was supposed to be done. So, but they said they was cousins, the dudes that was the men in the streets. Eminem has the on tour, but speaking of having beef with previous managers, and I wonder what that's about. Like what cloth, what ilk does that come from? Because why am I seeing people who got beef with folks they used to get money with? If me and you used to get money together, I'm gonna have at least a level of respect for you when it comes to how I speak on you, how I speak about you, how I speak to you. But it feels like that artists blow up and they get beef with the people they came up with. Kodak Black had some issues with a former manager group before he blew up. Lil Uzi Vert seemed to have an issue with DJ Drama. Who else seemed to have an issue? But most importantly, right now, Meg seems to be having an issue. She talks about her original group that she was in. Not original group, original thing that she signed to. I believe it was some sports player and Jay Prince or something along those lines. And they was showing her, I guess they show her love. They signed her. They gave her deal at 20, whatever. And, Meg was just excited to be getting on. Well, now that Meg's a little older, she's like, okay, well, where's the business being done? Where's these, I'm seeing certain numbers pop up, but the pockets isn't adding up to what's popping up. I'm assuming this is what's happening, or at least she's wondering what's in her contract. Well, she said she signed to Rock Nation and got real lawyers, got real people in her corner, and they coming to her saying that, this is in your contract. That's interesting. That's interesting to me because it's easy to point out what somebody else isn't doing for an artist when you're trying to reel them in when they're hot. You may look at it as, it may seem crazy to ask somebody to sign a certain kind of deal when they're hot, but what about before they was hot? What about when this sports player was like, yo, I met this young girl, young 20-something girl in college. She's pretty good. She can rap pretty well. She's a pretty face, nice body. She could work. I want to sign her. Anybody's going to tell her, well, make sure the business is worth it. The reward is worth the risk because a lot of people don't make it. Meg wasn't a guaranteed make. Big old freak popped off. I'm not even hating on that. High Girl Summer popped off. Her branding is immaculate. What she's doing with herself as far as, getting in position. But I think too many artists are looking to run the Rock Nation. I seen Jay-Z do the same thing. Well, I didn't see this. I wasn't there. But I seen Jay-Z do this when it came to Wayne and Baby. He was like, oh, Baby ain't doing this for you. Baby ain't doing that for you. But Beans got stuff he said you didn't do for them. Rock Nation artists say there's stuff you didn't do. Not Rock Nation, Rockefeller artists. So sometimes this could just be a destroy and conquer kind of thing. And I'm worried if Meg removes things that's working for her, that it may not, you putting too many chefs spoil the broth. I don't know what's going on, but Meg pretty much said she went to go renegotiate her money, renegotiate business, and her other label was blocking her from putting out music. If that's true, that's on the other label. Because I'm going to tell you who handled this like a boss one time. Rocco and Future had a whole thing. He's saying Future wasn't paying his money. Future was trying to snake him out of some cash. He had a whole thing with Future. Guess what he decided to do? He didn't stop Future music from coming out. He said, all that stuff you've been doing, it's time to pay the piper. I'm going to be patient. Don't block the music. Let the music come out, because if she loses her hotness, everybody loses. Everybody loses. So they haven't responded yet. It's 10:15 block. That doesn't even sound like nothing I would want to sign to. But, Ross also kind of spoke on this because he signed to Tony Draper in the beginning. Not only he signed to Tony Draper, I think Gilly the Kid also had to deal with, what's his name? Tony Draper. And, Tony Draper got involved in some things. He was in the streets. He was moving him. He was moving and grooving. And when Tony Draper got into whatever little beef he got into, he showed love and was like, nah, here you go. Nah, Gilly, I'm going to send you to somebody. No, I'm going to send you all that cash money. They can do something for you. So what I was saying was that Ross talked about sometimes you're going to sign a deal that may not be the most lucrative or the best bet for you, but ultimately at the end of the day, it does help you get your ideas from your back room, from your bedroom to the front stage. Now, when you get on the front stage, you can always renegotiate. But it's important that there be that line of respect. I think Meg with the free the Stallion. I don't know if that's the look to go for, because then that takes away from the equity. That takes away from the equity of the brand in me. But at the same time, if those other dudes is holding it back because it's like they don't want to see you prosper, those guys have to realize you got to negotiate. I don't know what they think because you're a woman that they're not going to renegotiate, but you're going to have to renegotiate. So I'm not picking sides. I want that to be clear. I'm not picking sides saying one side is right, one side is wrong, because both sides got the right to say which is which. But, brother, if Meg gets it to jump, she finds that record. I know she got hot songs, I know she got joints that really go, that really pop off. But she find that one. She find that record that really that really just drives it home, oh man. If you find that record that drives it home, you wouldn't even have, even if you getting, let's say 50% right now, she gross you $2 million a year. 50% $2 million a year is $1 million. What if you get 10% of what they offering you? You get 10% of $10 million. Yeah, still that same $1 million, but you're gonna have to do 5 times less work, if that, get the same profit. And if she's worth 10 million, it's gonna be, at worst, it's gonna be 5 next year. More than likely, it'll go up. Sometimes it's better to take the smaller percentage. I think that's what Rocco did. That's why I brought up Rocco and Future, because Rocco didn't stop nothing. Rocco just took him to court. Hey man, I need my portion. I need my piece. I need my cut. I was there. I had records. I had Just Do You. Then you came through. You made some hot joints, but I still need my slice of the cake. And you can't just run off on the plug. So Meg, whether that be Meg or anybody else, you can't just run off on the plug just because you bigger than what they can do for you now and you've outgrown them. They still got to get a slice. But she did say she wanted to renegotiate. She didn't say she wanted to end the contract. She said she wanted to renegotiate. So I can respect that. I mean, nothing wrong with renegotiating, right? Let's talk this over again. There were certain things I didn't know. Now there's things I do know. Let's talk about it. I don't want to cut you out, but man, cut me in. You hear me? Especially saying how I got it to pop. How many other people you got over there at 10, 15 that's going to get it to pop? Don't play hardball with her just because she's a woman. I think that's a part of it. It's tough when a woman's doing business because they want to treat women in business like, oh, well, men are talking. You just played it back. Now, I think she really, ready to step up like a boss. And I hope a lot of women follow suit. I want to see more female artists take the route of being a CEO. I want to see, I'm not super hard. I know I come off as if I'm hard on female rappers. I just want to see them be more bosses, be more productive in what they do. But, it's your world, sugar. Do you. A little longer on that than I kind of wanted to. Well, whatever. Missy, I was just sitting at the house. I seen Missy Elliott and her had a Pepsi commercial. I'm wondering, that might be a good look for her. That might be a really good look for her because when it comes time, are we really giving, because the reason I say this may be a good look for her, not just because it's a Pepsi commercial. Obviously, it's a Pepsi commercial. Pepsi commercials lead to Super Bowl spots. Pepsi commercials can be a real good profit maker for you. The reason I say this could be a good spot for her, because I see Cardi got one, is whether you talking Tweet, you talking Aaliyah, you talking Sierra, it seems to be that Missy finds that next, I guess you can say like R&B princess, if you would. And that seems a whole lot more fulfilling, a whole lot more of a better look than like this singing trap snap kind of sound. But anyway, so basically all I'm pretty much saying is that her and Missy Elliott on a record together, that actually sounds like something I would want to hear. It sounded good. It had a different vibe. Once again, her showing you she got so many different colors to her. It's not even funny. An amazing talent. Before I get out of here, I definitely gotta talk about Snoop Dogg, Oprah, and 50 Cent. We talking teams? We talking teams right now? Is that what we talking? Because apparently, Fifth decided to jump in with Snoop on this one, and because Oprah apparently fell or something, just something petty. And Snoop is going in on Oprah. Now, I did kind of joke with him on Gayle. I made light of it in the last episode, but I'm just being honest. I'm being super honest right now. Do you think that Snoop still holds a grudge against the feminist community for how they treated him when he was in his 20s? Because Snoop don't move like this with people. He don't really, it doesn't matter who it is. Snoop is a real cool guy. He's not real confrontational. I wonder what his issue is with Oprah. I mean, she's kind of like Dolores Tucker with a couple billion. With a couple. I don't know if there's an underlying beef. There's underlying beef. I do know that. There is an underlying beef between Oprah and Snoop Dogg. And I don't know, those two been in the game so long, they probably got history together, but this is a new level of petty that I don't remember seeing from Snoop like ever that I can think of towards, but he seems to have it for Oprah. Because you gotta understand, they did kill him. They killed him when he was a kid. Yeah, they killed him when he was a kid. Well, not a kid, but when he was like in his 20s and he was doing songs like "It Ain't No Fun, the Homies Can't Have None," and now he just seems to be taking his time. He's been taking the time out of his day to make sure to, to poke these ladies whenever. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see what's up with this real quick, man. Oh, this is so funny. Oprah took a tumble while in the middle of a speech about wellness and balance during her 2020's Vision Your Life on Focus tour. Naturally, 50 Cent had jokes. Duh. On Saturday, February 29th, the For Life executive. For Life is a new side note, whatever. You know how I bounce around on topics. For Life is a new thing that 50 has out, a new television show. It's about a brother fighting his way through the court system, representing himself. I hear it's lit. I think it's on ABC, so he's definitely doing his thing in television. He seemed to be hitting his stride. Sound like he got a level of confidence about himself. He got TV money and just was like, he don't even sound like he's worried about, whatever money anymore. So let me see what this shit say. All right, so it says, wellness to me means all things in balance. Balance doesn't mean all things are equal at peace at all times. Winfrey said before hitting the floor after pulling herself up. She joked, wrong shoes. 50 wrote in the caption, what the F happened here? Michael Jackson ghost tripped her? Snoop added, Michael and Kobe blew a gust of wind. Balance. Whatever. So, all right, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was. It definitely wasn't what he said last time. Well, he didn't say that about Oprah last time. He said that about Gail. But nonetheless, I mean, it is ironic to be doing a wellness and balance and trip. There's a joke there. To do a wellness and balance tour, then you trip, that is hilarious. I don't think there's too many things that's more funnier than that to me at this very second, not that I can think of. But one time for Oprah, fell back on a couple billion though. Oh, did y'all see that Jadakiss said that Styles P did JC and Reservoir Dogs? Styles P is a wild boy. Styles P is definitely a wild boy. Cardi got some new joints coming. Do you feel like it's past due with Cardi? Do you feel like Cardi's past due or she just teasing? Or can she not find one? Do you think that now Nicki showed the industry that this style of female rap works in this generation? Cardi showed you it could be duplicated. Now with that, do you think that it's tougher? Because I've assumed Cardi gets first dibs at records. A lot like Rihanna. And you kind of think that's a given that you're going to make a hit record when you got everybody who makes hit records trying to hand you a hit record. You would think it would be easy to find a hit record. that made me kind of respect, Rihanna a little bit more. Like, you gotta know if you got one or not. But she teasing new music, got new joints coming. I like that Nicki Minaj record, Yikes. I don't know what everybody else is looking for with her. I think she got some real heat coming. Ooh, Trap Beckham. One time for Duval. You see it. Democratic presidential candidate Tom Steyer performs Back That Thing Up with Juvenile. Hold up. I got this just making its way to me. We gotta talk about this one before I go. So I'm gonna read it off. This was in Columbia, South Carolina. Of course it was. Of course it was. As the stage continues to set for the 2020 Democratic presidential candidacy, the remaining politicians are pulling out all the stops and efforts they can to face off against Donald Trump in November. Even if it means piggybacking off hip-hop in the most bizarre ways. Enter Democrat presidential candidate and billionaire Tom Steyer, who takes the stage with Cash Money legend Juvenile during the South Carolina primary on Saturday. That's February 29th. Of the 100 songs in the Hot Boys catalog, it was Back That Thing Up, the clean version of the iconic hit record's Back That Ass Up, that propelled Steyer to the stage. All right. No, Juvie is really doing it. Hold up. We got to watch it. We got to see what's going on. Hold up. No, he's literally going in right now. Juvie said, I'm going to do the clean version because you're going to get way out of hand and end up saying, the explicit version, and I'm going to have to go full, Magnolia Projects on you. I'm going to have to hit you with that Noya clap, you hear me? According to Fox News, DJ Jazzy Jeff and gospel royalty Yolanda Adams was also there. A sound issue reportedly left them unable to produce any more viral moments. Oh, Jesus. Why is Yolanda Adams and DJ Jazzy Jeff? Man, he was trying to take South Carolina. They ain't mad at him. That's the lineup to do it. Don't give me and my grandmama something to bop to. Yolanda and Juvie? Come on, don't give me and grandma something to go up to. Let me see here. The random performance left many social media onlookers stunned and even prompted Meek Mills to label the spectacle culture currency when he retweeted Hip Hop's DX clip of the video. Yeah, so Meek will know all about that. Now listen, I hope Meek ain't trying to throw shade at at hip hop helping a billionaire, because billionaires definitely helped you out because you was hip hop. So, I'm sure he know all about cultural currency. It got him out of jail. He jumped back from a 2 to 4 with cultural currency. Yeah, and he giving back though. He giving what he took back out the culture. I hope he get a prison reform thing on the, on the go. But anyway, okay. Oh yeah. Let me say this real quick. I'm just gonna say this one real quick, and then I'm out. Jim Jones' statement about rap being a harder job than being an Iraqi war veteran is the most nut thing I've ever heard Jim say a day in my life. And Waka Flocka, who just recently, the only reason I'm saying this is because Waka made headlines saying he knew he was a whack rapper. It's like, yeah, we all knew. But what was I saying? Waka Flocka came through with some of the realest words ever. Waka Flocka literally said, hey, It's tough being a gangster rapper, a drug dealer rapper. Anything negative is going to be tough. It's not tough being a rapper. You're putting the stigma of being a rapper tough. I think he's 100% right. I don't really see that happening to everybody else like it's happening to gangster rappers. You got to realize you talk all that smoke, you're going to have to get that. R.I.P. to Pop Smoke. That ain't nothing, that ain't nothing I'm going to joke about. R.I.P. to a lot of these dudes that we talked about just last episode. But he's 100% right. It ain't the culture that's dangerous. It's the thing you get into that's dangerous, that you're making a part of the culture. So, make sure it's peace and love. Make sure everything that you see and say, everything that you see and say is aligned with what you want in life, because that will be what you manifest in your life. Well, until next time, people, that's my podcast. I'm going to do this. Shout out to those watching on YouTube, those watching on iTunes. Make sure to like, share, and comment. Tell all your friends about it. I am Dapper Don Dead.